Welcome to the Bruce Channel. So, not a very good week for murderers, was it? And I suppose most of us are okay with that. So, a week ago, Sunday afternoon, we were shocked by the completely irrational, wanton killing in Cleveland. That was Easter afternoon. By a guy who uploaded the film of the murder onto Facebook. Everyone nationally was horrified, but I'm from Cleveland, so making it even more heinous, although I'm not sure that's really possible, but he did it for no reason at all. The victim was Mr. Robert Godwin. Zero reason. He didn't cut him off in traffic, he didn't scratch the paint on his car, he didn't wink at his girlfriend, nothing. So he used his phone to film it, and then he uploaded it to Facebook, and well, you know how it all turned out. There's the manhunt, and then it goes into several states, and then nationally, they're showing the car, the temporary tag number. He's recognized at a McDonald's near Erie, Pennsylvania. State police come to get him. They try and stop him by bumping him and shoots himself, so he's dead. Even without a trial, absent a trial, I think it's fair to say he was a murderer. Now, there was a guy who had a murder trial. Former New England Patriot tight end Aaron Hernandez committed suicide Wednesday morning. Now, there's a guy. I mean, he was convicted several years ago, sentenced to life with no possibility of parole. But think of that. This is a guy who'd broken through. He had everything. Lots of money. Football star, gets treated like he's something special. And then that's gone. Not 20 years. No possibility of parole. That's a pretty stark thought if you're young. So it's one of the reasons, there are others, but it's one of the reasons I'm against the death penalty. I think it's a greater punishment to be in lockup and know there's no hope of change. Every day in lockup, every day in lockup, every day in lockup. All right, so it wasn't a good week for bloviators either. Now, one of them I've mentioned before, Alex Jones. I've told you I only discovered him last summer because a film role was seeking an Alex Jones type. And in my opinion, he's full of bull. Not because of his political views. Your politics may agree with mine or not, but we can discuss them with decorum. But this guy is beyond the pale.
Just like the Bible says, it's basically an intergalactic invasion into this space through people. I'm telling you, it's what all the ancients said, it's what they warned of, it's what we're dealing with. They're demons. They're frickin' interdimensional invaders, okay? I'll just say it, make fun of me all you want on CNN or wherever, but everyone already innately knows this. These people are not frickin' humans, okay? Hillary Clinton is a goddamn demon.
So, and this is from a Sunday politics show a few years ago, but yeah, they also have them in the UK.
Our government in the U.S. is building FEMA camps. We have an NDAA where they disappear people now. You have this arrest for public safety, life in prison.
You are the worst person I've ever interviewed.
No, it's basically off with their heads, disappear,
David, thank you
take
for
them away.
being with us.
Infowars.com.
It's gone 11:30. You're watching the Sunday Politics. We have an idiot on the program today.
Coming up in just 20 minutes. You will not stop the Republic. Humanity is awakening. Infowars.com. No, you guys are...
I'll be looking at the week ahead with our political panel. Until then, the Sunday Politics across the UK.
Now, this is the same guy who said that the Sandy Hook school shooting was fake, that it was staged by the federal government. Understand what I just said? He said it was staged by the United States of America. Really? Oh, and then he also kept saying the Secret Service, this was last summer and fall, the Secret Service told him that Hillary was desperately ill. They so ill they didn't think she'd survive until the election. Really, they're telling him that and nobody else? And were that true, I think the opposite is true. Obviously, she's still going strong. He ostentatiously holds himself up as a God-fearing man, and a lot of his followers believe not only that he's a God-fearing man, and not only that he's conservative, but that there is a global conspiracy that's coming after us. And the government controls tornadoes and can sick them on us, and on and on. Anyway, he's been involved for a while now in a child custody battle with his ex-wife. And There is an incongruity to these rantings and ravings and then him holding himself up as a good role model, as a good parent. So, according to Raw Story, his former wife, Kelly Jones, testified he's not a stable person. He says he wants to break Alec Baldwin's neck. He wants J-Lo to get raped. I'm concerned that he is engaged in felonious behavior, threatening a member of Congress. He broadcasts from home. The children that are watching him broadcast. Now, Alex Jones' lawyer told the judge that he's playing a character. He is just a performance artist. Busted. And then, of course, another bloviator, self-described, I'm not making up a name, self-described bloviator, took a hit this week. Pinhead in chief, Bill O'Reilly, was always willing to shout down his guests and call them pinheads, got called out. Over a dozen years ago, he had settled a sexual harassment suit, and we knew that. But the New York Times, almost 2 weeks ago, revealed that O'Reilly and the Fox News Network had jointly paid out something like $13 million because of a number of similar charges. He might still be there, but 70 advertisers pulled their ads in the immediate aftermath of that article. So he's not gone because of morality. He's gone because of business. Interesting, too, last summer, Roger Ailes, who was head of Fox, lost his job also amid allegations of sexual harassment. It was speculated that the network last fall was choosing between rising star Megyn Kelly or Bill O'Reilly. You were thinking, well, maybe Bill will retire. Well, Megyn left, so one might infer that they chose Bill-O, but now they have neither. Word was, too, that Rupert Murdoch wanted O'Reilly to stay even despite the news, but that his sons wanted Bill-O gone. And if I remember correctly, that's the same way the arguments went last summer with Roger Ailes, too. Anyway, watch this while I go wash my hands.
Hey, let me tell you about my book, Shrink. Or wait, I can let others do it.
All right, welcome back. Remember, you can write to us at thebrucechannel@yahoo.com, and you can watch all of our previous episodes at our Facebook page or at tinyurl.com/brucechannel. All right. Basketball playoffs have begun, and as I record this, the defending Cleveland Cavaliers are up 3-0 against Indianapolis, including a record-setting victory Thursday night. The Pacers were up by 25 points at the half. Never before in the history of the NBA playoffs has any team ever overcome that large a deficit. All right, so, in the NBA, the playoffs are mid-April through mid-June. That's, 2 months. To become champs, a team has to win a total of 16 games. That is 4 wins in a best-of-7 series against 4 different teams. If each series took 7 games, a team might have to play as many as 28 games. The whole NBA season is only 82 games. No other sport milks it or strings it out along like basketball. I mean, they all do, but no one for as long as the NBA. But no one either controls the market and the media and the general attention of their fans as well as the NFL does. Basketball plays 82 games. That's like half of baseball, where they play 162 regular season games. But think of it. Football, regular season is just 16 games. A month of playoffs and the Super Bowl, and they're done. Until a month later, at the Combine, they have the college kids come over, and they measure them, and they test them, and they see how fast they run and how high they can jump. Then they have the regular team guys come in April to do some workouts, and then at the end of April, that is this upcoming week, starting Thursday night, is the NFL Draft. And everybody watches it again for several days. Nobody drags out the playoffs like the NBA, but nobody plays us like the NFL. All right, some film stuff. The last weekend, the short film After Yesterday, won Best Picture in the Tulip Film Festival. And this weekend, that is last night, the Saturday night before this gets uploaded on Sunday morning, it's at another festival, and it's up for Best Picture. And it's in a few more, too. Okay, so, film stuff. I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, a month ago or so, that the movie In Dubious Battle, based on John Steinbeck's novel of the same name, was becoming available on disc on April 21st. All right, so I've seen it since then, and in a conversation with a friend who had also watched it, he said, you know, it's a shame it had such a hard time getting distribution, and it is a shame. Not only because it was good, but, you know, look who's in it. Starring and directed by James Franco, but also Ed Harris, shown here in what remains the only selfie I have ever taken, but also Robert Duvall and Nat Wolff and Vincent D'Onofrio and Selena Gomez, Anna O'Reilly, Sam Shepard, John Savage, Robert De Niro's son Julian, Bryan Cranston. It is a big list. And my friend said, you know, here's a movie. It's got boatloads of stars. It's based on a Steinbeck novel, but it's not car chases, and it's not outer space, and it's not a comic book superhero. Something in the world is a bit off, which is sort of what I talked about when I mentioned John Grisham, saying that Hollywood is now all about making movies for teenage boys. Let me read you part of what I read in the casting notice. This is from 2 years ago. So, in addition to listing what they sought, you know, they wrote this, calling it a big heart picture. This is a movie being done as low budget. Every single person working the movie, including all of the actors cast in all of the roles and all of the crew, are working on this film for much less than we normally make, as we are all doing this to get this movie made. It's an amazing script, an important story, and the story is about people. Yeah, it's all of those things, and it should be seen. And perhaps I should add, especially in these times when more and more companies view their employees not as valuable assets, but as liabilities, this film offers a reminder of what's important, or at least it offers a reminder of ought be important. Okay, so a couple of quickies. First, I've got a week's worth of film work upcoming next month, and this is in preparation for that. All right, so here, spring has fully sprung. The oaks are done making yellow rivers, thank heavens. That means I can stop with the antihistamines, you know? Maybe. I hope so. This is only a slight exaggeration. Okay, my spirea just coming into peak. It's going to be gorgeous, and my locust trees are at peak. They only bloom for about a week, but they're gorgeous when they do. Okay, another quickie from last week's newspaper. This ad from J.C. Penney. Our biggest sale of the season. What season? Spring? Easter? But then look close. Entire store on sale. As opposed to, what? Sometimes there's things they won't sell you. But then look closer still. Entire store on sale, excluding low price every day, best value, and Sephora. What is a Sephora? All right, so a couple of weeks ago, the Masters, and I mentioned at the time that it just wasn't quite as beautiful as usual because a cold snap in March had wiped out the azalea buds. But there was something beautiful, bittersweet, but beautiful. Last year I'd mentioned that the ceremonial drive at the Masters, Arnold Palmer looked very frail, and indeed he was too frail to hit the ceremonial drive. Then in September he died. So this made me tear up, and as you'll see, not only me.
7:40 Thursday morning. An opening tea ceremony filled with emotion, one that paid tribute to Arnold Palmer.
All for you and Arnie. I'm gonna place this. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming and expressing our love and affection to Mrs. Arnold Palmer. Well, good morning and welcome to the 2017 Masters. It is a wonderful, but in one respect, difficult day. For the first time in many, many decades, someone is obviously missing from the first tee here at Augusta National in the Masters. The almost unbearable sadness we all feel at the passing of Arnold Palmer is surpassed only by the love and affection for him, which will forever reside in our hearts. Arnold Palmer was more than the king, a title he justifiably deserved by virtue of his 4 Masters victories and more than 70 PGA Tour and Senior Tour wins. Arnold Palmer was my friend. He was your friend. Despite all of his fame and fortune, he always had time for all of us. A smile, an autograph, a photo, he was always giving. But it still hurts so bad that he is not here with us today. We knew this day would come. We counted our blessings over the last several years as his health was beginning to decline, but his smile and his graciousness never changed. As he would walk to this very tee for this ceremony, we would point and shout above the cheers to our kids and grandkids, "Look, look, it's Arnold Palmer." And the kids would radiate smiles because they knew they were seeing a legend. And you know what? He would always smile back. That's the Arnold Palmer we remember, we miss, and will forever love. Please join me now in a moment of silence as each of us says our own personal goodbye to this wonderful man. Thank you. I am so happy that this honorary starter ceremony continues today, as it always will, in the good hands of Arnold's great friends, themselves legendary golfers. First on the tee, golf's great international champion, a winner of 3 Masters titles, a man who played in a record-setting, unbelievable 52 Masters tournaments. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Mr. Gary Player. Next on the tee, we welcome back our 6-time, yes, 6-time Masters champion. A man whose accomplishments here at Augusta National and the Masters are unmatched, even to this day. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Mr. Jack Nicklaus. 2017 Masters has now officially begun. Have fun.
All right, finally this. Last show, I'd mentioned the local newspaper announced some format changes. And I was skeptical because it seemed to me that they were once again cutting content. Turned out to not be as bad as feared. And true, taking the crossword puzzle and the jumble puzzle out of the life section and moving it into the sports section seemed to me to be classic. 6 of one, half dozen of the other. If there was going to be no more life section, okay, but there still was, so why move it to sports anyway? I have worked the jumble for decades, as did my dad, and we'd often compete. Now, if you don't know, every day but Sunday, you don't get the answer until the next day. But the Sunday puzzle is different. The words are longer and there are more of them, so the solution for the Sunday puzzle has always, in every newspaper in every city that I've ever lived, printed the solution upside down on a different page somewhere else. The puzzle itself would say solution on page so-and-so. Until 2 weeks ago, the first Sunday under the new format. Look at this. Look at this. The solution is upside down, but it's right next to the puzzle itself. In a word, it is ruinous. It ruins the puzzle. I was outraged. But then, salt in the wound, making it worse. Others also thought that was silly and wrote to the paper. So, last Sunday, the second Sunday in this format, the managing editor wrote a column, and he answered several suggestions and criticisms. He said, nah, probably we're not bringing back the horoscopes. And then he addressed the puzzle solution. He said, answering those complaints, really? Where's your self-discipline? A week later, readers' complaints notwithstanding, I think readers ought to be spelled like this, don't you? So a week later, it was in the very same place. Oh yeah? We can poke your eye out and you'll like it. At that, I called him a lot of names. Self-discipline indeed. By midweek, I'd calmed down enough. I'd cooled off to consider, well, maybe he doesn't play it, and maybe he doesn't realize how the brain and peripheral vision can work together, and the answer can leap out. I think you've probably all seen this. I couldn't believe that I could accurately understand what I was reading, so I wrote him a letter pointing this out. Now, as I record this, I don't know if the solution will be moved or if it will again be next to the puzzle. But if it is next to the puzzle itself, I will unsubscribe from the paper. Bigly. Immediately. I'll let you know. Meanwhile, whether or not you're the managing editor, I do hope your upcoming week is the best one you've ever had.